Welcome back to Veggies with a Slice of Life. We pick up with part 3, the last part of my interview with Broadway performer Andrea Jones Sojola. She shares her life transformation story following the teachings of Dr. Sebi with the African Biomineral Balance. Here we go.
I was asked, a lot of people kept saying, well, maybe if you could just make this for me, I would pay you. and so many people keep saying that, but I am not the most organized person. I do a lot of things last minute. I think might have a lot of angry customers if I if I did that. What I really want to do is I just kept having these visions, in the past few months about just doing a little, alkaline, kind of like a talk show or something that kind of blends artists with alkaline food. Just we have so many friends who are in the business, and I know a lot of people go on tour. And I would love to talk with people about, traveling while eating this way. Because, my husband was on tour. It was very tough for him, but he tried his best. He tried his best to do this, and there's even a page on Instagram. It's a truck driver. It's a truck driver who's, doing alkaline. I don't know how he does it, but he's found a way to do this. You have to make a sacrifice. You do. My dad used to always say, either you're going to pay now or you're going to pay later. One or the other. So you choose when you want to invest, so yeah, I think something like that kind of blend. I've already kind of started doing it on my Instagram page, which is finger licking alkaline _, and that's lickin without a G because I'm from Kentucky. So just a play on Kentucky Fried Chicken. So yeah, and I'm starting to have some friends come over and we cook a little something and we talk and maybe sing a little bit, and I just throw it up on Instagram. So for now, that's the beginning stage of it, and I'm hoping to grow it into something at some point. I'll be trying to create some content this year, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I would love, and people keep saying, oh, you should open up a restaurant. Well, in New York City, that's super expensive. Somebody said, well, why don't you do a food truck, or why don't you do, meal prepper? Why don't you do a pop-up or something? Mm-hmm. So I don't know, maybe if I can get some friends who are really good at this, and maybe if they help me, maybe one day we could do something like that, because I really feel like people would come if they understood the benefits. I think people would support if they really knew, because veganism is very trendy. It's a trendy thing, but for me, this is not a trend. I don't even refer to it as, oh, I'm on a diet. It's none of that. Like this is the way of life, as you know. It's a way of life, because, I know how you guys grew up, and I know how your parents are. And, they're very focused on mental, spiritual, and physical health. I've seen your dad, and I know how they are. So you guys have that kind of mindset because you grew up with it. But most of us did not grow up in an environment where the parents were really, thoughtful about putting healthy food in the bodies of their children. Sure. Most kids didn't grow up like that. And so I just kind of want to spread the word. I want to, to spread the gospel of however I can. But I have to be an example, first. So, I got to get it together. I'm trying.
I feel like it's working. I heard of your story through my brother, and I'm sure many others are hearing about you because of what you are doing for yourself. And I think that's where revolutions or change starts with
revolution. I like that word. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so many people don't know about this, and even have no clue whatsoever. So
because you guys knew about it like way before I did. Like you guys, your dad, I'm sure has known about it. And even with your brother Nate, I remember thinking like just how dedicated he was, to health. I remember being in a elevator with him and your niece and your nephew, and somebody offered your niece like a lollipop or something. And I remember she looked at Nate like, can I have this? And I remember thinking, wait, why does she look at him like that? And I realized it's because they didn't eat sugar. Like, they're not growing up a family that just gives their kids sugar just because. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, that's radical. That is radical. Like, I just had never heard of that before. I mean, and I had been, I'm very conscious about that kind of thing. Like, I don't have a child that like gets candy all the time and sugar. Like, I wasn't like that. But the way Ayanna looked at him, like, I know I can't have this. I'm gonna take it to be polite, but I know y'all not gonna let me have it. I said, that's fierce. That's fierce. And I admire that. My point is that I admire that. And I would like to, create the generations in my family to be just aware, more aware. And that's why I'm glad, I got my nieces and my sister and my mom, somewhat on board, so that then they can share with their children, and it'll keep trickling down to the people who come after us.
It will. When I think of my dad, and he became a vegan in the 70s, and back then there just weren't a lot of processed vegan foods, and so vegan literally meant vegetables and rice and beans, which is what we pretty much grew up on. But for him, just what he did in his life has spread throughout my friend group, I have friends that I've gone to high school with who talk about my dad, or family members, second, third cousins who are now vegan, or and we're always seeing people who talk about, I'm going vegan now, and I know it stems from my dad, right, and just how he has changed the lineage in his line. Because when I think of my family, it's like you said, it's everything. It's everything. But he stopped it right there, him and my mother, and it's beautiful, and it's on me to make sure that that I continue that.
Yeah. How old are your children?
So 18. My son is 18, and then our girls, we have 2 girls, 12 and 11.
Wow. You have an 18-year-old. You look so good. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yes. And it's funny because with my son, or with our girls, I grew up on opposite ends. Like, either it was a vegan meal or it was chicken and fish. Like, it was those things. But eventually I just eased into being a vegan. And with our kids, we didn't force them to be vegans necessarily, but we would cook like that at home. But once my son got into high school, it was really hard. He went to a prep school. They made like these gourmet meals every day, so it was hard to compete with steak versus whatever we're eating at home. And so I didn't want that battle. But I knew, I was like, well, the seeds are being planted, and I'm just going to trust it. And he just finished his first semester in college. And by the end of winter break, he just left this past week. He was like, after eating, vegan for 3 weeks, he said, yeah, I feel so much better being home than I have these last 3-4 months being away from you guys and not eating like you guys at all. And so now he's meat free.
Oh my, that's amazing. You know what that reminds me of? So there's this guy, I follow so many wonderful, wonderful alkaline chefs that are just incredible. There's a young man named Bobo Cooks, I think is his Instagram name. He's wonderful. He's from like the Bronx or something. And he is the cutest. He's Dominican, just adorable. He has a YouTube show that he does with his mom, and they're cutest. They're so cute. And so he sponsored an alkaline party in, I think it wasn't the Bronx or Mount Vernon or just somewhere up there. Yonkers.
Okay.
So we went, my sister was in town, the one who started doing alkaline, and I was like, oh, let's go, let's buy these tickets. Of course, I messed up the time, and I got there when it was over. Unfortunately, all the food was gone. People were still there, kind of listening to music, but it was gone. But it was like hundreds of people came to this thing. And it was the first time really that anything like that had been done, at least in this part of the country, as far as I know. And I met his family, and first of all, his mother looks 18. She looks so young. And his dad looks the same, like super duper young. So I was asking him his story. Like I said, Bobo, how did you come to this? Because he has a lot of energy. He's very excited about what he's doing. And his mom said to me that he had gone to college and came back sick. They were healthy. They ate very healthy at home. They were not alkaline, but they might have been vegetarian or vegetarian-ish.
Sure.
As much as Dominicans can be, they like their meat and stuff too. So, but they were pretty healthy actually. And when he went away to college somewhere in the South, I think like Virginia, the food just made him so sick that he had to come home. Like he couldn't even stay at school. And so the mom said she kept researching and researching. She said, I have got to heal my son. For what I'm going to do, but I've got to find something. So she just happened upon Dr. Sebi, I think online. And she said, wait a minute, there's something to this. And so she started feeding him the foods that was on the list. And slowly but surely, he got his health back. And he decided that he was going to make his living off of the nutritional guide. And so he travels around the country giving cooking classes and seminars to people about living the alkaline life. And he may have gone to Usha Village, which is Dr. Sebi's like a retreat center kind of that he has in Honduras. He studied, and he showed pictures of what he looked like before when he was sick versus now, and it looks like two different people. It looks like two different people. But yeah, that college food, they say that freshman 15, but it wasn't just weight gain. It was like literally something made him ill.
Yeah.
We have to be very conscious about that, I guess, when we send our children away under someone else's care. Because who knows what kind of food they're eating. I know I was ordering out all the time. College. I had moved from the South to the East Coast, and I discovered like hoagies and all the stuff that we didn't really do in Kentucky. I was like, what is this? A Philly cheesesteak? What? I mean, I was in it deep. Okay.
But it's like trusting that those seeds are planted in your children, because they have to find their own path. And I am a firm believer that everyone needs to come to it on their own. You can't force it. There's those few who've grown up vegan and then stay vegan for the rest of their lives, but it's so rare. But planting those seeds are so important. So is there anything else that you want to share? I've really enjoyed just chatting with you about this. And I honestly, just my conversation alone with you changed how I went grocery shopping last week. Wow. And within a week, I've lost a couple pounds. I feel great. I haven't felt the need to take my supplements. I usually take a few things just to help with my energy and to just feel like I'm complete. I haven't felt the need for that. I haven't told my girls. I've just been cooking that way and preparing food that way. Yeah. And, and I even woke up this morning and the girls were making their lunches, and my oldest, and she's usually my more picky one, she had cut up half an avocado, and she had I got some of the wasa rye flat cracker things. So she had that. She got some salad, and I was like, wow. And it's me not even saying anything, but just providing the options, and what it's done in my family in just a week has been wonderful. So I really just want to thank you for what you're doing to your body and your healing, because it's reignited something in my own family that then can trigger to my son, and everything else. It can change so many lives, just the example that you have. So I really appreciate you.
That's so powerful. Maybe just a few things that your listeners might want to know are some resources, because a lot of people say, like, first of all, like, where do I get this food from? And where do I get the list? And I don't know what to eat. A lot of people say, I've never had alkaline food, and which cracks me up because it's like, you've never had an apple? Like, people get so wrapped up in this, like, okay, you mean to tell me like you ain't never had a zucchini before, ever? People get, this title, you throw that title on there and a lot of people get afraid. So as far as some resources, I would say if you can go to just Google Dr. Sebi Nutritional Guide, or go to his official website. He has a company out in LA, and they provide, I think you just have to give them your email, and then you are able to see the nutritional guide on there. So start with that. Start with the list, and know that the list changes. So what happens is, as the food industry changes the way that they're growing food, then that list changes, because sometimes things become maybe GMO that weren't GMO, or they start hybridizing foods that weren't done that way before. And then as soon as they found out that that thing has been changed, then they will remove it from the list. So make sure that you have the latest list. For instance, cilantro used to be on there, and maybe cinnamon used to be on there, and those things are not on there anymore. So stay current. That's number one. Number two is, if you want to go shopping, I suggest, going to a place like Whole Foods. It is expensive. It just is. But if you are a member of Amazon Prime, you can get discounts at Whole Foods at the cash register. So there are certain things that I get from there. I can't find, bulk currants anywhere else, or walnuts or Brazil nuts or things like that. I go there. And then other things, I can go right on, to these little fruit markets in New York City, just right on the corner, and get some avocados or plum tomatoes or things like that. And then I normally go to Vitacost.com. And once you sign up with them, once you give them your email, they will always send you like 15% off. So always use a coupon to order things, those dry goods that are sometimes difficult to find in stores. So you can get spelt flour, as I said earlier, garbanzo bean flour, your spelt pastas, your kamut pastas. Like, I make macaroni and cheese. People say, what, macaroni and cheese? Absolutely. You can get you some kamut elbow pasta, and get some butternut squash and walnuts, and you mix it all up, and boom, you got yourself a nice little pan of macaroni and cheese there. So there are certain things that I order from them. Also, I like to order smoked sea salt. Those of you who are familiar with like that meat flavoring, you just can't let it go. If you use a smoked sea salt, it'll remind you of that flavor. And it's really good. So if I don't have smoked sea salt, like, I have an attitude. I need that. I need it. And you can get it at Whole Foods, but if you get it at Amazon.com, you can get a big container of it for maybe $15, $20. And they have hickory, mesquite, applewood. So there's all different types of smoked sea salt. And then what you need are recipes. So I go to the internet for that. I go to YouTube and Instagram. So the big person that every new Sabian should probably follow is Ty's Conscious Kitchen. So Ty's Conscious Kitchen, on his website, he has a list, of recipes. And all of those recipes, you can click on a link and it'll take you right to the YouTube video, and it'll show you how to prepare it. And they're all short videos. Nothing is difficult to make. His videos are so easy to follow. So I started there, because anything you ever want to eat from the real world, you can totally alkalinize it. I can't say that word. You can make it alkaline. You can make it alkaline. So just start with Ty's Conscious Kitchen. Then find Crush Foster, who is another wonderful New York City-based chef. He used to have a vegan like juice bar in New York City, he and his wife, but now they go around and they show people how to prepare alkaline foods. And they also have an alkaline getaway that they're starting in Barbados. So if you find him, you can start following his Instagram page. and his Facebook page, and he'll show you recipes. And he has a great cookbook. And Ty's Conscious Kitchen also has a cookbook as well. So Crush Foster has a cookbook. He has like 2 or 3, which are great. Also follow Alkaline Vegan Mommy. She has, I believe, 3 cookbooks, one on a juicing, because what you're supposed to technically do before you start this way of living is actually you're supposed to detox or do like a juice fast. I didn't do that because I didn't know that I was supposed to do that before I started. But you're supposed to kind of get everything out of your system and kind of start fresh before you do this. And I don't think there's a specific time limit you have to do it, like, 3 days or 6 days or 40 days or whatever. But your body will tell you. Your body will tell you when to do it. Alkaline Vegan Mommy has a juice fast book, and then she also has like 3 or 4 books, cookbooks, with regular recipes in them. So follow her. Also go to YouTube and just write in Electric Cupboard. Electric Cupboard. It's a husband and wife couple who follow Dr. Sebi. They have a page that's not all. It's really called some kind of a blended abode. It's called Blended Abode, but if you put in Electric Cupboard, those are their alkaline recipes, and they're absolutely delicious. And so, and she doesn't have a cookbook, but just go to her YouTube page. That's all free. Then I want you to follow Alkaline Meal Ideas and More. She has a wonderful YouTube page and Facebook page. And she also has, I believe, 2 cookbooks that you can also follow. And then for fun, follow Alka Vegan, ALKAVEGAN, Alka Vegan. It's this hilarious, what I believe to be some millennial young girl she loves alkaline food and she loves good food. Like her food looks like something you would find in a restaurant. So she's making, pork asada, and she makes these avocado spring rolls, and she makes things that look really fattening. They look like you want to eat them, but they're alkaline. So follow her. And you can always follow me at fingerlicking alkaline _ And then if you follow me and you want some more recommendations, you can always just send me a little, what do the young people call it? Is it DM?
Don't ask me.
Direct
DM or
call. You can send me a message if you would like some more information on who to follow, because I follow a ton of people and I draw inspiration from all of them.
That's awesome.
That would be my advice. Those are good places to start.
Yes, thank you. And based off your recommendation, I just tried Ty's Conscious Food Kitchen, his omelet, the vegan omelet, which
it's so good.
It was so easy too.
I know. I know. I have that thing almost every day. It's so good. And then I make some hot sauce to put on top of it, or some avocado.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I could talk about food all day.
Well, thank you. This is so helpful, and I know this will just inspire and motivate so many people, and it certainly has me. I've taken a lot of notes, and we'll definitely share all the links, including your handle page, or your what is that called? The Instagram.
Yeah,
yes.
Handle.
Your Instagram handle. And I really just thank you so much for sharing your story and your time. And I hope that we get to share a meal together in person soon.
Let's do it. And the next time we have our alkaline potluck, you are coming.
Thank you. I would love to come.
And that's it with my interview with Broadway performer Andrea Sojola. I am so inspired by her journey, and I'm sure you are as well. Please share her journey with a friend, with your community, because I do believe that it can change someone's life. Subscribe to Malkia Talks, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.